Namaste. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful souls. So I invite you to come into Shavasana. If you need a cushion under your head, please do so. If you need something underneath your knees, again, please do so. If not, legs out straight, a little bit wider than the mat. Arms, palms upwards, away from the body, so that that energy can flow around your body. So really find a sense of comfort for a moment. And soften or close your eyes. Remember, as always, if you don't want to close your eyes or they just won't stay shut, then just try and focus on the tip of your nose and really take your awareness inwards. So yesterday was the Autumn Equinox, which is all about balance, because obviously that was the time when night and day is of equal duration. And so it's a good time to think about balance in your life. And you might hear people say about work-life balance and stuff like that. But the thing is, balance is not fixed. It's something that's fluid and that can change. It may change throughout the year, along with your energy, your emotions, your moods, etc. So for example, some weeks, some months you may be busy. Like in the summer you may, take on projects, etc. People start to build things, all sorts of things like that. And then autumn is about kind of reaping in the harvest. If you think of farming, farming's a great example. So in the summer, they're busy cutting hay, putting up vegetables, all that kind of stuff. Autumn is, or planting and stuff. Autumn is when we finish taking in the crops, we put everything into storage and that kind of thing, ready and preparing for the winter. So balance is never going to be a fixed thing. It's never going to be a case of, every day I'm going to work for so many hours and I'm going to have so many hours rest and blah, blah, blah. So it needs to be a case of like overall. So you may have one week where you're really, really busy with work, etc. And so then you need to balance it out by having some rest time and some play time. So often as adults, especially women, women with children and families, don't take as much time for play, or they feel guilty for taking time just to do stuff, just for the hell of it, just to be playful, just to have fun. We need to be more like children. So you could ask yourself, how balanced is your life? How balanced does it feel? And I was thinking to myself today actually that I'm going to start doing at least one new thing every month. So going to a workshop or visiting somewhere new. I'm going to really, because I'm terrible for not organizing things. It's like, right, I'm going to plan and I'm going to, book things, book events, so that I do at least one new thing, different thing every month, because it keeps your life fresh. Just like relationships, any kind of relationship. If we expect it just to magically be wonderful like it is in the beginning, it's not going to happen. We need to work on it, but we also, in a relationship, we need to work most on ourselves. Because quite often, and this is something I've learned, it's taken a long time for me to learn, quite often if we're bored in a relationship or we're bored with someone else, we're actually bored with ourselves. We're actually bored with ourselves. We're bored of ourselves. We are boring because when your life is kind of like fresh, exciting, you've got stuff to talk about, whether you do stuff with your partner or on your own. So it's usually, and I say it's taken me a long time to realize this, that often, we look for our partner to excite us, to love us, to make us happy and all this kind of stuff. We need to find those things for ourselves so that we can come back to the relationship full of excitement, of happiness, of love, etc., and share it. So that's how I am good. Sometimes I get stuck in that too much kind of work and not enough playfulness. So you can maybe ask yourself, how balanced is your life? Is there anywhere that you feel intuitively out of balance? And what is the balance between giving and receiving? What is the balance between creating, kind of being proactive, and allowing, surrendering, just allowing things to happen? Some people are very controlling, basically. They like to try and control everything, try and control the outcome of everything. And the thing is, you can't do that. You can't. It's just not possible. So those kind of people will always be focusing on the times when they can't control something, and that can be very rigid. Also going the other way, too much allowing and not enough being proactive is not healthy either. So we need, again, I've been guilty of that in the past, of like, you know, not being proactive, kind of expecting things to happen but not actually taking steps towards making them happening. So this is something I'm learning as well. We're always learning and growing and expanding. Also a balance between rest and being busy. You know, sometimes we can be addicted to busyness. A balance between doing and being. So you take time just to sit and observe, to people watch, to watch the clouds. I like to sit and watch my chickens. So it's finding balance overall rather than it trying to be too rigid. I'd say the energy at this time of year tends to become quieter and less assertive. So see if you can embrace surrender, embrace a sense of grace and a sense of trust. So we have the being proactive, but also trusting that everything will work out in the right time. It doesn't always work to our timeline, but it will work out in the right time. There's also time to prioritize self-care. So prioritizing, slowing down a little bit, and self-care. So notice how it feels in your body as you listen. You know, maybe things have been coming up, thinking, oh yeah, actually I could do doing a bit more of this. And keep in mind as well that any should, when you say I should do, that's coming from your ego mind, it's not coming from your higher self. So anytime you think, oh, I should do such and such, ask yourself, well, why should I? Why should I do that? And you'll often find it's, oh, because so-and-so does it, or because I think I should do. No, I could do. I could do. So take a nice deep breath in. Breathe right to the tips of your fingers and toes. And imagine breathing it all out. And the affirmation for today is I find balance and harmony in the rhythm of the seasons. I find balance and harmony in the rhythm of the seasons. You just think, inhale, balance, exhale, harmony. We're going to start off with a few little warm-up exercises to get our energy flowing and to balance the right and left sides of the body. So if you've got your head on a cushion, maybe remove the cushion, bring your arms down beside you, legs together, and take a breath in. As you breathe out, I'm going to start off with a cross crawl exercise. As you breathe out, take the right arm overhead, bring the left knee in towards the chest. Inhale, replace, exhale, switch. Breathing in and out, in and out. Breathing in and out through the nose, but a nice dynamic breath. So strong in, out. So this again connects right and left sides of the body. It's almost like you're marching, but on your back. So if you start to feel dizzy at all, or you struggle to breathe, then you can go a little bit slower. So these kind of exercises aren't about making a kind of pretty pose. It is about getting the energy flowing, getting the blood flowing, getting the fluid flowing around the body. Four, three, two, one, and relax everything, noticing all and any sensations. And on an in-breath, tense every muscle in the body, squeeze every muscle. Imagine squeezing all your inner organs, your arms, your legs, shoulders. And exhale, gently release. Feel the energy flowing through your entire body. And just imagine trying to bring the fingertips to touch underneath you. Have a slight bend in the knees, spread out the toes, pull the belly button in towards the floor. And inhale, raise the right leg up to vertical, hold for a second or two. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, raise the left leg up. Exhale, lower. So lifting and lowering the legs, pressing one leg down into the floor. Now you want a slight bend in the knee so that you don't pull on your back and you don't feel it in your hip flexors. So if you start to feel it in your hip flexors, the front of the thighs, or you start to pull on your back, then bend the knees even more. So I'm just trying to activate our core muscles as well as warm up the hamstrings. So imagine you're almost trying to bring that leg almost towards you as you press the other leg down into the floor. So start to connect breath, movement, tummy muscles, taking your inner fire, your digestive fire. Bring the big toes together, bend the knees even more, going slower this time. Inhale, raise both legs up, hold for a second or two, scoot the belly button in. Exhale, lower them down, trying to keep the thigh muscles relaxed. Again, inhale, lift them up. Exhale, lower them down. We've got 6 more. So try and relax the thigh muscles, just really pull the belly button in towards the spine. If there's any pulling on the back, then bend the knees more, especially on the way down. Inhale up, hold. Exhale as you lower. Breathe in and out. Last 3. I know I lost count. 2. 1. Hold up on 1. Bring the arms down beside you. Point the toes. Inhale, take the legs wide. Exhale, cross them over. Inhale, wide. Exhale, cross. In, out. In, out. Stretch. Out. Inner thighs. As well as working your tummy muscles. And it's when you get to the point where you think, oh God, I can't do any more, I want to stop now. Pushing past that point, that's when the magic starts to happen. Because I've just got to that point where I'm like, oh, this is getting hard work. So just smile, dig deep, breathe. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Hug the knees in. I can feel my inner thighs. Either rock and roll yourself up, which is what I would normally do, or you can roll off to one side and ease yourself up. Doesn't matter how you get here. When you get here, I'm going to take the legs wide as you can. Pull the butt cheeks back to try and tilt the pelvis forward. Now if you've got really tight hamstrings and your back is kind of slouching, then you can pop a block, or if you've got a wedge cushion, even better, to raise your hips a little bit. So especially if your back is rounding, do sit on a block or a cushion, because we don't want a rounded spine. And again, if your pelvis is tucked under and you're kind of like this, you know, we don't want that one really rounded. So use cushions, use bolsters. You can always bend your knees or pop a cushion underneath both knees so that you can relax the legs down. And try and give it a gentle flex. We want a bit of energy in the legs. And we're going to stretch out inner thighs, hamstrings and spine. So we're trying to avoid kind of collapsing in the middle. So we're going to go side, center, side, center. So just turn to one side, breathe in. As you breathe out, just imagine sliding the hands towards the foot but without tensing the shoulders. So I'm not even trying to reach my foot to start with. Then inhale up, come to center, exhale forward. So you may not move very far to begin with, that's okay. Again, just watch out for tensing or collapsing. Inhaling up and over to the other side. Exhale, stretch. And just going at your own pace, noticing where you feel the stretch. You should hopefully feel it in those kind of lower back muscles that are quite tight from us spending a lot of time sitting. But even I spend, even though I've got horses and things and I spend probably more time outside, even I spend more time sitting than I perhaps used to. And this is one of the reasons we're so tight, because we spend so much time sitting nowadays. And that's why our hip flexors are so notoriously tight. So just breathe with it, go with it. Use the breath. Inhale, balance. Exhale, harmony. So sometimes we can be too proactive. So by grabbing and reaching and trying to pull, it's being too proactive. I have no energy, whatever, is kind of like being too far the other way. So we want to find that balance, even in the poses, by putting some energy in, some effort in, but not tipping over to the point where you're tensing or pushing and pulling and causing an issue. And surrendering the idea of there being a perfect pose or an end kind of goal, an end destination. Focusing instead on the journey. Inhale, balance. Exhale, harmony. And if it feels good to do so, add a little bit of bouncing, but it's like a little kind of mini pulse, but it's just so subtle, so smooth. So you can probably barely see me doing it. Just a little kind of bounce. I'm not using force. I'm just literally that. I can feel the stretch down here on this side as I add a little kind of bouncing, a little mini bounce. And you might find you stretch a little bit further each time. Again, it's not about getting somewhere, it's about releasing tension, So it's not about whether you can reach your foot or not, or whether you can touch your knee with your nose or not. It's about releasing tension. It's about freeing up the body so that energy can flow. Because when we're holding tension in the body, then the energy is not going to flow. But like when there's a dam in a river, you know, the energy can't flow. And then the water starts to become stale. I don't know if you've ever noticed it, ever smelt it. I remember once when I used to do cleaning years and years ago, I was cleaning for a guy and he had what was a vase of flowers, and they'd obviously been dead a while. And honestly, the water, I gagged. I literally gagged when I tipped it out. It absolutely stunk. I didn't know it was possible for water to smell that bad. But that's the thing, when it's stagnant, it literally starts to die. Anything in it starts to die, and we're the same. So we need that energy flowing. throughout our whole body. Just come to the middle. Curl yourself up to sitting. Bring the legs in, shake them out a little bit. Then bring yourself into a sitting position. So use blocks, cushions, whatever you need. So if you need blocks underneath your knees, so if your knees are kind of like up like this, get some blocks, no matter how many you need, to put underneath your knees. And you'll find, because quite often we don't even realize we're holding tension, but when you've got something to rest against, you can like naturally start to relax, even without any effort. So as you notice here, this knee is slightly higher than that knee, and sometimes I will put a cushion under this knee to allow it to relax. Sometimes I need one, sometimes I don't. Depends what I've done, whether I've been doing hip opening or whether it's morning or whatever. So make sure you do whatever you need to do so that you can be comfortable for the next kind of 5 minutes. So use blocks if needed, rest against the wall if needed. With your left hand, you want to bring your thumb, ring finger and little finger together. So you've got your peace fingers extended. So ring, little finger, peace fingers in Pran Mudra, Earth Mudra. Rest that hand on your thigh. Head is in line with the spine, so it's not dropped forward or back. We're going to do a variation of alternate nostril breathing. So we're going to use our right thumb and little finger, halfway down the nose, there's a little bit of cartilage. So we're going to bring the hand in front of the face. We're going to soften or close the eyes. We're going to keep the head in line with the spine. We're going to take a nice full deep breath in. We use the thumb to block the right side. We're going to exhale through the left. We're going to breathe in and out through the left side. So long, slow breaths in and out. This exercise balances the right and left sides of the brain and brings you into a state of balance. So if you're feeling tired, it will give you some energy. If you're feeling really stressed and scattered, it will kind of calm you down. So that's where we want to be. We want to be on a level, so we're not either hyper or really drained. So breathing in slowly, deeply, completely. Feel your ribcage expand, your heart expanding. And exhaling, feeling your ribs relax, belly relax. Then inhale through the left. And switch and exhale through the right. Just taking a few breaths here. Making sure your head stays in line with your spine, so you're not dropping the head forward. Inhale, balance. Exhale, harmony. coming through the right. Exhale left. So switch, exhale left. Again, taking your time, don't rush, breathing all the way out. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Again, make sure your chin stays parallel to the floor. Lengthen up through the crown of the head. Switch and exhale right. Long, slow breaths out. Inhale right. Switch and exhale left. And release that hand, bring thumb, ring and little finger together, take a full deep breath in. Should feel like you can breathe a bit more clearly now. Hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. And gently opening your eyes. Come up, just shake out the hands, shake the arms up your head. And come over onto a child's pose. Actually, just to stretch out the legs a little bit, just tuck your toes under, sitting in a little kind of toe squat. You can have your hands on the floor to start with to give those toes a good stretch. I must be kind of weird because I quite like stretching out my toes, but well, no, I'm kind of weird, but you know what I mean. I'm getting a little couple of spine flexes here. So inhale, heart forward. Exhale, lift through the back of the heart. Breathing in and out. In and out. In and out. Get back to neutral. See if you can push onto your feet into a little kind of balancing toe squat, toe stand. And fold slowly into Uttanasana. You can stop kind of halfway, keeping the knees bent if you like, just to kind of stretch the legs out after that sitting. And gently come back down. Release under your toes and come into a child's pose, Balasana. You can open your knees slightly if you like. Bring your forehead to the floor, arms down beside you if you can, palms upwards. So if it feels better to open your knees up a little bit to make a little bit of space, great. And have your forehead on the floor, relax your shoulders, and just breathe here. If it feels good to do so, you can gently roll your head side to side a little bit to massage your forehead. And as you're doing that, think of the ground beneath you, earth beneath you, Mother Earth. So think of connecting with the earth, connecting with our great mother, with our sustainer of life. And kind of, we can't live without the planet. The planet can live perfectly well without us, but we can't live without her. So feeling that sense of connection with the earth. Inhale, balance. Exhale, harmony. Take another full deep breath in. Feel your rib cage expands, a very nurturing pose, almost like a little seed, kind of under the ground, just kind of like, nourishing, charging itself before it bursts through the soil. Breathe all the air out. And inhale, start to curl yourself up. And then come up onto your knees. You can add some padding if you wish. You're going to step the right foot forward. Make sure the feet are at least hip width apart. Square your hips, square your ribs, square your chest. Maybe just bring your hands onto your waist to start with, and just kind of like tuck and tilt the pelvis a couple of times. Notice how that feels on the rest of the body. We're trying to find a kind of neutral position. Lift through your chest. So bring your hand to your heart, lift your heart to your hand. So it's a very subtle move. Notice how small that is. That literally a tiny move, but you feel the difference in the front of the body from here to here. It may look a tiny difference, but it is a difference. Lift your eye gaze, not your chin, just lift your eye gaze, because sometimes when we come to a lunge, people tend to kind of come forward. So you want to feel the stretch in the front of the body. So we just clasp the hands behind you, roll the shoulders back, and stretch the hands down. Keep looking up. Imagine hugging the thighs into the center line. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, push into that front foot as you come forward. So rather than just kind of like flopping forward, imagine pushing into that foot as you come forward. Now, as I said earlier, we tend to be very tight here because we spend so much time sitting. So these muscles will be very tight. If you need some padding under that knee, then go right ahead. Relax or squeeze the shoulder blades together. Keep the chest open. If you feel like you've kind of come forward and you're doing that kind of thing, come up a little bit, drop the chin, lift your chest, lift your heart. So it's almost like you're kind of leaning backwards, but we're opening the front of the body, and then maybe coming forward a little bit, but not, not too much. This knee stays in line with that ankle, not going over that ankle. Just breathing here into your heart space. If you need a little bit more support, interlink your hands and press your hands into your thighs. If you're pushing away, still hugging the hips, the thighs rather, into the center line, as if you're stood with a ball between your thighs and you're hugging in. So shoulders relaxed. Inhale, balance. Exhale, harmony. Now we're going to take a little twist. So we're going to turn to the right. You're going to bring your left hand to the outside of the right knee. Now I like to tuck my back hand into that back thigh. And I also tend to like to have my hand, the front hand, palm facing outwards, but that's totally up to you, whether you have it palm in or out. Now imagine you're pulling that knee in, or you're trying to pull the knee in with the hand, so you're firmly pressing with the hand. At the same time, you're pressing your knee outwards. So rather than just like resting it here, push and pull, so you're turning through your belly, chest, ribs, looking over that back shoulder, lengthening from your tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head. So twists are great for balancing out the body. Nice full deep breath in. Keep pressing into that front foot. So if you're pushing away from the floor, and all the way out. And unwinding, coming back, we're doing a little counter pose. You're going to bring, whoops, don't do that, bring your hands beside that front foot, draw the hip back, lifting the toes and folding over that front leg in Ardha Hanumanasana. Now you've got choices here. You can stay here like that, you can bend and straighten a little bit, or you might want to go all the way back and sit on your heel. So your heel is in contact with your tailbone and fold over your leg. Again, totally up to you, your choice, your body. So find the position or the movement that suits you. Taking a couple of full deep breaths. After your next exhale, ease up, come back forward into lunge, so wiggle yourself through, adjust the back knee if you need to, drop it back a little bit. Then bring both hands inside that front foot. Imagine hugging that knee into your arm, press the arm back into the knee, stretching out into the hips. You may even find you can come down onto your elbows or near your elbows, or you may even want to walk that foot out a little bit to the side and maybe kind of like let the knee drop and have a little bit of a movement, wiggling side to side, rock and rolling. So again, listen to your body. You may find that you naturally start to do something that I haven't suggested. So you may come up with your own variation, and that is perfect. So again, follow your intuition, your inner tutor. Remember, inhale, balance. Exhale, harmony. And that's a good point, Andrew, because sometimes, I like to be still in a pose. Other times I like to move in it. And quite often I don't consciously think, oh, today I think I'll do blah, 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 blah. It just happens. And after your next exhale, bring yourself back. Bring that foot back. Tuck your toes under again. Sit back to your heels. Push back into that toe stand. Take another breath in. As you breathe out, fold into a forward bend. You may want to wrap your arms around your legs. Fold yourself in half. After your next exhale, bring yourself back into that toe stand and back onto your knees. Tuck your toes. Also feels really nice, well, to me anyway, when I've been stretching out my toes. Then coming up, stepping the left foot forward. Square your hips, maybe draw that left hip back a little bit. Lengthen both side waist. Tuck and tilt the pelvis a couple of times. Notice how that feels. And find that kind of in-between point where you're not tucked under or tilted back. I tend to kind of like have one hip slightly higher, so kind of like level that out. Bring one hand to your heart, lift your heart into your hands. Squeeze your butt. And clasp the hands behind you, roll the shoulders back, stretch the hands down. And lift your eye gaze but not your chin. And exhale, coming forward as long as you're not collapsing into that leg. Relax down. Hug the thighs into the midline. And feel that stretch. You really need to activate the legs rather than just like hanging out here. So again, really engage the legs. Again, if you need more support, hands to thighs and push the thighs away. Again, keeping the shoulders relaxed, pressing into that front foot, neck relaxed. Nice full breath in and out. Relax your heart. Inhale, balance. Exhale, harmony. Then taking that twist. So hand to the outside of the knee, wrap the other hand either around behind you or tuck it in that thigh. Again, imagine trying to push that knee in, push the knee back against the hand, or you might be here. Again, imagine pulling the knee in and pressing back. So again, you're turning through your ribs, chest, shoulders, spiraling up from the tailbone. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, twist a little bit more. Inhale, unwind. Bring your hands down. Exhale, take your hip back. Lifting your toes, Ardha Hanumanasana. Again, you may just stay here. You may kind of bend and extend. Or you may decide to sit all the way back onto your heel. Make sure you're sitting, if you do sit all the way back, so that you're literally sitting, the heel is in between your butt cheeks and folding over your leg. I tend to not try and reach the foot in this one. I tend to find just to relax my arms. If you do try and reach the foot, again, make sure you're not tensing your shoulders, and just breathe a couple of full, deep breaths. After your next exhale, gently making your way back into the lunge. So if you're in this position, again, coming back nice and slowly, find your way back, adjust the knee if you need to. Bring both hands to the inside of that leg, hug the knee in, press the knee out. Again, you can either stay here or you can come onto your elbows. Or you can walk that foot out a little bit and you can adjust your hands and kind of bring some movement in. You can make the movement as big or as small as you like. Sometimes I do a little bit of movement. Sometimes I'm almost kind of like rolling onto one side. So I'm working my upper body a little bit as well. After your next exhale, slowly come out. So don't rush. Come out nice and gently. Ease that foot back. Tuck your toes under. Sit back. Stretch the toes out. Come up into a toe stand. Breathe in as you breathe out. And straighten up into Uttanasana. Again, if you wrap the arms around the legs, if you did it last time, however you've done the arms, switch. So the other one's in front. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out. Release. Come back down. Undo. Bracelet, necklace back on my ear. Bring the legs out in front. Shake them out a little bit and come back into Shavasana. So come back down onto the mat. Find your Shavasana. Soften, close your eyes. Notice how you feel now compared to when we started. So twists as well are good for balancing right and left sides of the body and opening up the hips and allow the energy to flow. And that's what we want. We want energy to flow throughout the whole body so that we can be healthy, happy, joyful, playful. So just with your eyes closed, noticing how you feel now compared to when we started. Without making it good or bad, right or wrong. Just simply be curious. Notice whether you feel lighter, as in, heavy wise, or sometimes I feel like I'm like just air floating. Maybe you feel like you're sinking down into the floor. Maybe you feel like your joints have been oiled. Maybe you notice you're breathing more deeply, or your lungs seem to be expanding with greater ease. Before we finish, I invite you to repeat the following affirmations in your own mind, noticing all and any thoughts, feelings, emotions that may arise. I find balance and harmony in the rhythm of the seasons. I find balance and harmony in the rhythm of the seasons. I find balance and harmony in the rhythm of the seasons. I lovingly give myself permission to rest, reflect, recharge. I lovingly give myself permission to rest, reflect, recharge. I lovingly give myself permission to rest, reflect, recharge. And just taking a nice deep breath in and let it go. decide you want to stay a while longer, you can do just that. If not, start to stretch out the arms and legs, moving in whatever way feels good for you right now. And when you're ready, bringing yourself back up to sitting. Bring your hands together, bring your hands to your heart, heart to your hands. Take a little bow to seal this practice. Namaste. Enjoy the rest of your day. Any questions, any comments, please come and see me. Come and see me. Come and see me. Come and ask me. Oh, bless you. Mwah.